I was teaching someone how to drive a manual transmission a while ago, and it wasn't easy. Not for him, or for me either. As a matter of fact, after that training session, I had a little trouble with my own driving. That was because I was thinking about what I was doing, and it's true that you can't do something and think about it at the same time. Thinking interferes with doing. As someone said to me about a completely unrelated operation, namely doing the electrical wiring in a building, if you've done it before, if you know what you're doing, it's simple stupid. If you don't though, look out. It's simple hard. And it's as simple as that. The easiest things can be hard if you've never tried them before. And if you haven't done something and you're trying to do it, all kinds of extraneous variables creep in. Fear, doubt, confusion, frustration, anger, resentment, that make it that much harder. What I want to discuss here is teaching itself. Teaching isn't easy. Teaching is hard. Teaching is a delicate operation. Teaching involves an understanding of the student. Let's say you're trying to teach someone how to swim. Do you introduce them carefully to the water using flotation aids and teach them to kick and paddle and breathe? Or do you just toss them into the pool and let them figure it out? Charles Lindbergh wrote that he really learned how to fly when he started teaching students. That was because they would get themselves into predicaments that would never come up if he were on the controls. And when that happened, he had to figure out on the spot what to do, how to correct it, to get the plane back on course, and also see that it didn't happen again. Let's look at it from the other perspective, learning. Learning is hard because true learning is painful, and most of us would avoid pain if we could. As they say in the gym, no pain, no gain, and that is perfectly true. In the gym, you literally have to tear your muscles apart if you want to be stronger. In learning how to do anything, the same thing is true. It's all about making new connections. You have to reorient the chemical, electrical pathways in the brain. And more practically, you have to make mistakes, and this, again, is not something anyone really wants to do. It isn't any fun making mistakes. But if you want to learn, take a deep breath, for that is what you must do. People say you're learning something the hard way. In most cases, there is no other way. Learning, therefore, takes a certain amount of courage. You have to work through the mistakes and the process of conscious effort. As any athlete will tell you, if you think, you're dead. There isn't time to think. In the course of a game, any game, you have to react, not think. It's funny to say that teaching and learning are all about not thinking. So in teaching someone to drive a manual transmission, the student has to be brave, willing to work through mistakes, and more importantly, must stop thinking about what they're doing. Begin to trust themselves that they will operate smoothly without thinking. Because when you're really driving a manual transmission, what you do is automatic. You don't think about it. You just do it. And if you've learned correctly, what you do will be right. How do you teach? How do you learn? Some of it is active, but an important part is passive. It seeps in. Another name for a student is a pupil. And a pupil is also a name for a part of the eye. And what does that part do? It lets in the light. A teacher shines the light, is the light. As a pupil, your primary job is to open up and allow the light in. And though that sounds easy enough, it's not. It takes a certain amount of courage to open up and let the light shine in. Helen Keller knew what it was like to learn. Read about it in her autobiography, The Moment at the Well, when she makes the connection between the cool water and the quick impressions her teacher, Anne Sullivan, was making in her hand. Oh, you can say, when you learn, I see.